Now, I want to teach you about the spirit of convulsion. I want my board. Today I'm teaching.
In this sermon review video, I am going to share with you some summaries of Pastor Ezekiel's sermon video entitled The Spirit of Convulsion. Enjoy the video. It's the Motivational Christian Lounge, where I share all about Christian motivation, sermons, and gospel reviews in order to pass important information to the teaching spoken for inspiration, for knowledge, and for the edification of the spirit, soul, and body. Kindly don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below.
Book of Mark. Mark chapter number 9, from verse number 14. Mark chapter number 9 from verse number 14. We had prayed. Now, the Bible says, when they came to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd around them, and the teachers of the law arguing with them. As soon as all the people saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with wonder and ran to greet him. "What are you arguing with them about?" he asked. A man in the crowd answered, "Teacher, I brought my son who is possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of speech."
The man of God started defining the word convulsion. He said that convulsion is a spiritual attack upon children. And he also went ahead and said that it is a byproduct, that it is a product of evil spirit that attacks children. He went ahead and said that it is a disease caused by an evil spirit. And he went further to explain that when it attacks the grown-ups, it is called epilepsy. More to this is that diseases are products of evil spirits. So he said that, in other words, these are the children given birth to by the same evil spirits. Remember, if you can't fight spiritually, then you can live a very healthy life. So you may ask, why the topic? The reason is so that you can live a life of a wise man. You can also live wisely spiritually, that you should know what to do when what happens. So, he said that people perish because they lack wisdom or knowledge. They lack knowledge because of the spiritual life. And once you lose focus on your spiritual life, you will lose control over your life.
I want to teach you about the spirit of convulsion. Convulsion is not a disease. It is a disease caused by a spirit. Remember, I told you, diseases are children of evil spirits. Mark my words. Diseases are products of evil spirit. So these are children given birth to by evil spirits. If at all you can fight spiritually, you can live a very healthy life.
The man of God said that when convulsion matures, it turns to epilepsy. Most of the time, convulsion will attack mostly a newborn baby, young babies, or even babies that are still in the womb, because their spirits are weak. Remember, the man of God said that convulsion has no treatment. So mostly, the medical treatment for a convulsing child when taken to a hospital is injection. The purpose of the injection is mainly to reduce the body reaction, hence affecting the brain. So he said that without the injection, the baby will become violent. Number 2, after the injection, the body of the child will begin to develop some weakness. The body will become weak, especially the joints, the limbs, the neck, and also weakness in walking. Number 3, the baby will begin to be affected on the brain, which can lead to lameness or disability. It can make the baby look confused and weak. It can also lead to disability. He said that it can also lead to loss of speech, loss of sight, and also loss of hearing. Finally, it will also lead to complete disability. Here are some of the scriptures that the man of God mentioned in his sermon. You can always go back and refer to them. They are as follows. Mark chapter 9 from verse 14. Then there is Mark chapter 9 from verse 17. So as we continue, the man of God said that those people who rule the spiritual world, those people who have power to move in the spirit, they will notice your star when you are born. So when you see a spirit of convulsion attacking your baby or your child, remember that that is the only child with the best star. So the man of God said that they will cause confusion upon the parents. You may ask, how? Because you will always concentrate on the convulsion and not the star of your child. You will never know because the purpose is to hide the truth about what your child is suffering from.
I want to teach you about the spirit of conversion. Pastor, why are you bringing these topics? I'm bringing these topics so that you can live a life of a wise man, wise spiritually, that you should know what to do when what happens. People perish because they lack wisdom. They lack knowledge. They lack knowledge about the spiritual life. And once you lose focus on your spiritual life, you will lose control over your life. You can die anytime. You can be attacked anytime. You can live a poor life because people can take away your star anytime. Now, conversion is a byproduct, or it is a product of evil spirit that attacks children. When it attacks a grown-up, it is called epilepsy. When convulsion matures, it turns into epilepsy. I'm not a medicine teacher. I'm not a medical practitioner. I teach spiritually. Conversion is a spirit. But most of the time, conversion will attack a newborn baby because the spirit is weak. Whose spirit? Follow me closely, step by step. Conversion will always attack young babies, newborn baby, or even a baby in the stomach. I will explain. Now let us read first. Convulsion. Verse number 17. Mark, the book of Mark, chapter number 9, verse number 17. A man in the crowd answered, "Teacher, I brought you my son who is possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of his speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they could not. Now, signs of convulsion. When the evil spirit attacks your child and the child convulses, how young children, young babies are attacked. Now, when the evil spirit of convulsion attacks, when? First, the evil spirit of convulsion, signs, causes, and healing. So I will tell you the signs, causes, and how to be healed from convulsion. I tell you from my altar, convulsion has no treatment. Convulsion has no treatment. You will take your child to the hospital. They will give the child medical treatment. Happens this way. Medical treatment for convulsion, they will give, number one, injection. Injection will reduce the body reaction. When the baby is injected by medicine, it will reduce, it will affect the brain. It will reduce the body reaction. You will see your baby relaxed, but the baby cannot wake up. The baby will look like this. But without injection, it will be violent. But once they give injection, I know doctors, they are watching and they wonder, Pastor, why are you saying this? Doctors, you are born again people, you are good people, I'm just helping them. It will reduce the reaction of the evil spirit in the baby. Now, number two, after injection, the body, because the medicine will affect the brain. Now, the body of your child will begin to develop weakness. The body will become weak, joints weak. I believe they can see. No, please zoom in so that they can see this. Yes. Thank you. You are doing a good job. Now, weakness in the body, this is for joints. Weakness in the joints, limbs, neck. Is this how they write the neck? Yes. And other part, weakness in walking. Convulsion is a spirit. I began by this. I did not explain everything. Convulsion, this is a spiritual attack. Spiritual attack upon children. Weakness in the joints, limbs, neck, even in walking, they are very weak. Number three, it will begin to affect the brain. Once it affects the brain, effects in the brain. Once the brain has been affected, it can also lead to lameness or disability. Now, your baby look confused. The baby looks confused and weak. This one, when the brain is affected, it leads to another thing. When the brain is affected, it leads to another thing. Disability. Baby looks confused and weak, leads to disability. The baby can't walk now. Loss of speech. Loss of sight. And loss of hearing. I don't know whether that's the best term. Now, it will affect, the injection comes first in medicine, then it reduces the body reaction. You think your child is okay. Number two, it brings weakness in the joints, limbs, neck, and the baby can't even walk. Number three, it affects the brain. I want to write this one in big letters or capital. Once it affects the brain, this is the final stage. When the spirit of convulsion attacks a child, the brain effects comes last. Then the baby looks confused and weak. The baby becomes disabled, loss of speech, loss of sight, loss of hearing. Now, finally, complete disability. I believe we are together. We are okay. Thank you. This is the work of the spirit of conversion. If at all you are writing, you can write. This is a spiritual teaching, the spiritual aspect of it, the spiritual dimension about spiritual attacks on our children. Go to Nairobi, go to Congo, go to America. Even in America, it will attack the brain. Once it attacks the brain, even in America, there is no medicine for it. Now your baby looks like this. With saliva oozing from the mouth. And forever, the baby will behave that way. Forever. Forever. It serves a purpose. I will tell you why convulsion comes.
That's all for now. If you like such kind of videos, then consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing to your friends. Thank you and bye-bye.